On the 7th to the 9th of June,
Ladies, get ready.
it's the Ladies Conference 2024, themed Pure Gold.
Registration is free and compulsory
At the Tetfon Building, 250 capacity. See you there.
Victory Chapel, the church on campus.
Mommy. See our own mommy now. Our chairman in this church, the main campus church. No other person but Mrs. Ubam. Celebrate your women to get here. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Can I listen? Yes. The second person I'll be bringing up is Minister Uya Ibarra. Celebrate. Is this how we learn to do? You're welcome, ma'am. And the next person we'll be bringing up is our very own mommy that just spoke to us, Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Edishola. Celebrate mommy today. Hallelujah. So you're welcome once again. You're welcome, our mommies. Thank you very much for finding time and to be a blessing to us in this our conference, Pure Gold. From yesterday, we learned a whole lot about gold in its purest form, the processes that gold has to pass through to be refined so that it can be useful. And our mommy yesterday also gave us a lot of life experiences. And I'm very sure that you all have stories upon stories that you've been through in life. All right, so but I'm going to just give us a few minutes to just say a little bit of ourselves and a little bit of our stories in life so that we will know where to start from. So I'll just start with our mommy, Mrs. Ubam. You just tell us a bit about yourself and how far you've come to this point where you are now. A little bit of the challenges you went through and how you overcame them, and how those challenges have brought forth something out of you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. As you all know, my name is Mrs. Regina Ubam. I'm one of you here in this very blessed church, my very own. Thank you for this opportunity, Mama. A mother of four, two wonderful boys and girls. By the grace of God, I'm saved. I'm a civil servant. I work at the university. I'm a deputy registrar. And by the grace of God, I've gone through some things and tweaks of the season, but God has been faithful. I'm the chairman, a female, so to say. And I owe all of this to the glory of God. So I'm combining motherhood with my career. Well, I still have to state I'm a student. I am currently doing my PhD. So I combining being a wife. I'm married to Pharmacist Ubam. So I combine the career, my studentship, being a mother, being your chairman. Today is weekend. If I had nothing to do, I would have been in the camp. But the truth is that we all must succeed. Yes. And so that's the beauty as a mother, a wife, a student, a mother, and all other responsibilities. But in all of this, it's God that has made it true, and I return the glory to God. So So the beauty of all of it is being said, and I don't take it for granted. It's nice to have God at the center. It has helped me so far.
Thank you very much. Mommy said God at the center is what has helped us so far. It's not easy to combine all of those things. Some of us have only our school, just school. We have post fellowship. So no, let me focus on my school. But God at the center of it all has helped Mommy thus far. Please let's celebrate our Mommy. Okay, let's begin to the Ibara.
I think it's already noon, so I'll say good afternoon, everybody. It's a rare privilege to be here, to be able to share my story. When I saw the flyer for the event, and then I looked up the names of everybody that was there, I had to ask, I said, what story do I have to share? I'm very sure I should be the youngest on the lineup of people to speak. And in my own opinion, maybe I don't have too many experiences. And then I asked my husband, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing on that time. And he said to me, if God chose you to be there, there's something you have to do. Well, I'm very young until Tuesday. I think Tuesday made me 32. I'm always talking about so many things that she is at the same time, and I am encouraged. And I do hope that we take the time to pay attention to what our mothers will be sharing. And I'll say, at 32, I'm a television broadcaster. I've been in ministry for about 20 years. I sell palm oil. I do so many things on this side. But in recent times, having to try to jostle ministry and broadcasting is a very, very new challenge. Today alone, I would not have been here because I recently resumed work and I only got called this morning that I'm meant to be on duty. So it was either going to be my job or this event. I had to run around, but last minute, God made a way. Someone was able to stand in for me. So we're looking at having to be able to balance a lot of things at the same time. I'm wondering what is my story. One time, I remember I come from a family that has been through thick and thin. We've seen the warfare. I recently remember telling God that I no longer want to live in a group of warfare. And one time we were just having a conversation, and my younger sister said to me, what exactly have you been doing in life, apart from the fact that you've been waiting to marry? Because I'm that child that everybody, there were prophecies, and because of, I'm a quick woman. So it was more like this one was going to marry early. So as early as 21, when I was done from the university, I was already ready to get married. I was mature. The goal. But I only got married last month, I think April. Yes, I got married in April. So my sister looked at me that day and said, what exactly have you been through in life? Apart from the fact that it's just that marriage that has been a question. So maybe to my siblings, my life looked easy and I'm waiting only for marriage. Because my siblings have had to fight warfare. You know, they've had to go through family patterns, fall under the bridge, come out and stand. So this was my younger sibling telling me, you haven't been through anything. And that day, I think I cried. Because I'm thinking, okay, what's my story to tell? But over the years, I have established that I don't like to wait. Waiting is not easy. And I'm going to just start by saying, do not allow anybody to play down on your own process. Because your struggle is not the same as mine, doesn't invalidate the value and the weight of what you are going through. Because if roles were reversed, maybe you would not have the energy to wait for that thing that seems easy for others to happen for you. Mama shared something with us earlier. She waited for 2 years I've waited most of my adult life and not had a man tell me they were interested in me. I have been influential most of my young life. So it was always difficult to tell someone that, Barack, you are single. Nobody believes you. You're traveling. People should believe that the cream de la cream of the society are toasting you. No. In short, I was covered for a very long time. And then when it looked like the relationships were coming, a lot of people had the perception that I was the one trying to work out relationships. I made more effort to do a relationship. So I'm telling you that don't allow anybody to validate you. To another person, you may think all I waited for is right, but it's not, that's not only, I'm making that like the biggest story, right? So don't allow anybody to validate your story. Today, my name is Uyai Barack Basi. It's a delight to be here.
Can we say congratulations? Wow, what an amazing story. I'm going to ask them some questions. But send me your questions if you have them. Let us hear our mom speak before I ask them those questions.
Okay, wow, wonderful stories. Okay, so I was that little girl that didn't have all those fantasies and those things some of you enjoyed as a little child, Grew up from, I don't want to say a poor home, but I can say that, and in a very, very malnourished environment. I don't want to go into that environment, but let me tell you a little bit about it. When you live in a house where when it rains, water enters your room, right? Even maggots from the toilets comes out. I mean, cockroaches and all that. And you probably lived in that house for like 18 years. So you understand that. So I was a girl who was poorly managed by teachers as well. Of course, went to federal government school. Anything goes. And in the class, I used to feel like something different can be done. When teachers are teaching and you're under pressure yourself, right? They're not there because they teach you under so much pressure. And they inflict fear. Any of you like that before? They inflict fear. And as a little girl, I used to think this shouldn't be so. So when I was like 8 or 10, I started looking at the little girls in the environment like, maybe they are like me. Who used to be very fearful when teachers are teaching. So at holidays, I would call them together. I would do extra lesson. No pay, I just enjoyed it. So I would call out those little girls. And when I was 13, 14, I continued till I was like 16. And, at that point, I left university, secondary school. And then I went to work as a teacher, and I began to understand that this teaching thing is what I want to do. Because I got into this school, and the parents started loving the result on their kids. And unnecessarily, the owner of the school just picked on me, was married, and this little, girl, I love your energy. I know I was not doing that. That time I was average. I was still average, right? But I didn't want to see other kids being average like I was. And I was always trying my best on every child. But he misunderstood me for a relationship. He thought, this girl is getting so much result in my school. One of the ways to keep her is to start going out with between 16 and 18-year-old. And I left that job because as at that time I already knew what purity is all about. As at that time. So I didn't want anybody to, and guess what? I didn't even tell my mother that was why I left. She kept asking this same job that gives you money to buy pad. Because prior to that time I used clothes. My mother would cut pieces of clothes to do monthly period. And I didn't like it because sometimes it falls off from my pants. I would go to school, all my friends would use always. But because you go late to school, you cut grass, you press of cutting grass, you can't find your pad. That's not pad or the cloth. So it's good to tell our story. So that was that girl. And I told myself, no, I think I love this teaching thing. Meanwhile, my father was saying, you are showing potential of a doctor. Come and get this family out of, do you understand? And you know that kind of thing now. Most of you don't understand because you are rich people, rich kids. You don't understand. So to cut the story short, my parents wanted me to be a pharmacist, and I told them I don't want to be a pharmacist. They said, what do you want to do? I said, I love teaching. My brother said, Jesus, teachers don't have money. How can you love teaching? Do you want us to be in this? In my mind, I used to think, but to cut the long story long short, because it was a war to convince my father that I want to teach. But then I used to tell myself, I'm not just going to be a teacher. I'm going to be a teacher of teachers. I'm going to be a teacher with sauce. You understand? I'm going to be a teacher who has money. So, but I couldn't say all of that. But after I finished my first degree, I went to University of Education, where everybody is being taught to be a teacher. It was after I finished that I began to tell my parents that, look, my own teacher is going to be different. And of course it's different. Because before I built my house, I roofed my parents' house. I thought somebody would clap. I built my parents a house with the support of my sister and my husband. Because I told myself, you see, all the struggles, I'm doing all these things, not to prove anything, but to live my life the way I know God designed it, to tap into God's resources. And that's exactly what I did. So that is a little story. Hope you enjoy it. Hallelujah. So one more thing. Part of that story was that I began to have bigger dreams. I began to see bigger things, even though my situation didn't look like it. In my 20s, I started seeing bigger things. And why did I start seeing bigger things? Because of the kind of people I am in their lives. I used to find people who come to my fellowship like this that I like. I will find my way into that woman. I say, please, ma, can you mentor me? Please, ma, can I just come and walk in your house? Some of you want people to mentor you, to give their time to you. You do nothing to support them. Mentoring doesn't work like that. In our own time, I'm still very young. In our own time, we will go to mentor's house. Before they even ask them, what can you say about this my situation? I would have finished washing clothes like, you cook like, you take care of their children, you clean the whole house, you do everything doable. They didn't ask us, it was service. Young people today don't know how to give service. All you want is give, you don't know how to, all you want is collect, you don't know how to give. So when you see me live my life, sometimes I said I paid my price. Do you understand that? You need just to tell somebody I had a dream. Can you interpret the kind of work I will do? For you to even have mouth to even say, some of you will meet somebody on the road, you want them to, they are busy, but you want to, how can you connect and get the best out of them? So at that early in my 20s, I understood how to connect with people. Yeah, how to connect in a reasonable way. And the kind of people that I connected with, the things they were saying, those were not the things they were saying when they come to preach the fellowship. The things they say in secrets, The things they tell you when they are in Japan, you sleep over, the things they come to your own room and say, this way we go. Now let's talk. Those are not the things they say here. The kind of things they say to me and I go on and start doing. So it was so easy that in my 20s I did my master's. By the time I was 29, I had started my PhD. By the time I was 33, I finished my PhD. Yes, everything is possible. In my early 20s, early 30s, I started my school. Right now we have about 150 staff members that I pay every month without having to owe anybody. Conveniently, and we are one of the best paid schools in Nigeria. Yes. I decide this is the kind of teacher I want to have, and this is the kind of money I want to pay. And for me because this is the kind of results I want to get. So this is the kind of people I'm looking for. And I am willing to pay the kind of money that can keep them on my system. Yes. So everything boils down, and that was that girl, right? And I trained you. Look, I don't want you to teach these children the way I was taught. I want an enabling environment for every child. And if you don't know how to do it, I train you on how to get it done. That's why I keep going for trainings, conferences, and all of that. That's my story.
We are not celebrating this story. There's so much to unpack from what Mommy has said. I want to allow you to do that. Unpack what belongs to you from what she has said. So much, so much. But let me be asking the questions I have here. Minister Barak, you said something about your waiting season, that it's not easy to wait. Can you share with us those things that kept you going in that time when you were waiting for this big miracle so that we can learn from it?
Oh, praise God. For me, I think that's a very easy answer, and Mama has already touched on it. At the time when I was, so for every season of my life, I have an assignment for myself. God had an assignment for me, and I have an assignment. So by the time I'm in secondary school, I know I'm not trying to date anybody's child. I got to the university, I still had that same, I was young, I finished school at 2021. I was not trying to date anybody's child either. So I chopped off my distractions. And just like Mama said, from a very, very early age, we had discovered a pattern in my family that most girls had children out of wedlock. So it was either me or them. I was not going to have a child out of wedlock. And it's either you're going to walk the path of purity or try to sleep around and escape. That's you're trying and crossing your hand every time you go to pay back and $5 million. Do you understand? So from a very early age, and my mom had walked that path and instilled in us very early the values of purity. So I had it at the back of my head whilst I went through secondary school, I went to the university. I schooled outside the state where I did not have family. I did not have anybody watching me. I schooled in Abuja, then Akwa Ibom. Now, at the time when I was going to school, money was available in Nigeria. Just like Mommy kept on saying. So I had times where my dad died by just one first term. So I had my mom as a teacher, bent over backwards in righteousness, sold everything she could sell, do everything she could do to send me to a private school. My school fees was $500,000 every session. So my mom, that's how I went to school. So for every time she did her best to send me pocket money, she would tell me, keep yourself. Make sure you do not do anything that will bring shame. So I had, growing up, there was a lot of expectation in me from my mom. So I'm like the sacred cow where my mom is concerned. So I and my younger sister lived that way for a very long time. But one way or the other, my younger sister fell So she got pregnant. And this is, by the time we got information on her pregnancy, this is all of us. But you are a virgin, how did you get pregnant? It's not my sister's story I'm trying to tell, but I'm just telling you how, all of these things weave around. For those of us who think we are living in a loop of patterns, patterns are sustained by decisions. So for every time that you make a decision that brings you closer to the fulfillment of a pattern, it will take hold of you. And it's not necessarily a matter of prayer. Prayer is one, the decision you're taking is the other. One thing I did every birthday was thank God for giving me the grace to walk another year of purity. Oh, I promise you it was not easy. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. One of the things I have discovered being older now is that the system of God covering me from being that girl that a lot of people toasted was one of the things that preserved me on the path of purity. Because maybe if I had every guy, oh my God, Barak is so beautiful, I should test you, I should be your friend, I should date you, I probably might have fallen on that because. But I did not have men swooning over me. It only took me maybe 2 years ago to realize that that was part of the systems and the protocol of my own preservation. So for every time I walked near the fire of impurity, I was the one that walked myself close to it. Not that God opened up the opportunity. Because you're also going to feel like, but I'm a fine girl. People know me. Oh, can't you see me? Yes. Fellowship sisters. I think it was 2 years ago that we had someone that was dancing around me so close. It looked like he was going to be married. The good guy, he might be so long. And was and Jack bad. And then everybody's feeling like, how can you be so blind? Not to see a quality woman like this. Do you know you are Barak? Well, his time came and passed. He did not really go. He gave God the praise. How did I survive in the wait? I served my heart out. You see this student fellowship thing that we are now trying to converse as to we have to balance our education and fellowship is wisdom. But it was one of my secret places. Student ministry is one of the places you will find yourself, you will find your voice, you will find your rhythm. So before you come to the big stages of life, when people are calling you from all over the world, some of us served a student fellowship. And that is how we knew that we could sing, we could speak, we could, in welfare, this thing you're doing, that's your welfare coordinator, and you think that there's nothing inside. Tomorrow, you don't know where serving people will take you. So for me, it was service. And because the demands of my service line demanded that I lived in utmost purity and righteousness. I couldn't come on that bus. I don't like to be a pretender. I'm a music minister. I have a problem with lying and singing. That I have a problem with my life is not right now. But because you already know me as a Barak, I'm still doing this. God, I hate this. That's me as a person. So service was one of the ways that I survived. The years were long. Mama, the years were long. I was ready to be married at 21. I got married at almost 32. So the questions will keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. I said, if you go to any place that I have served, I still have worthy relationships because I can be the first to come and the last to go. And I never grumble on assignments. Even in my workplace, there is no private organization that you want to go for an event. Even if you're getting married, nobody gives you a month off after that. But because of, now I take the service mentality into anything I do. So it's beyond church. Service is beyond church. At my workplace, I am serving. And I've had people in recent times tell me that you have become more of a TV broadcaster than you are a music minister. And people are, some persons in my sphere are worried. You're giving up the best of yourself for TV. But when I was going into TV broadcasting, one of the words I had was, I'm going to use your voice on the waves of the air. I have an African reach in broadcasting, so you can only imagine the things I do. Now, when I'm serving at my job, I am doing it as if I'm serving God. So, I go early and close late. I packed my things from town and lived in the community where I work just to be closer to work and be available. So when I was going to get married, I told them after my wedding, I want to sleep at home for 1 full month and not call. And my HR looked at me like, nobody does these things. But they will give it to you because of who you are in the establishment. I go to work as early as 4:30 a.m. every day. And I don't have closing time. It's when I am done for the day that I go. So I'm saying that in my process of weight, my covering and sustenance has been served. When you want to sit down and think that this time is coming, it's passing, this has not happened. If God puts a fresh assignment in your hand, the energy. I'm a prompt person. I like when I have something to do. So I pour all of my energy in serving, and it gives me little or no time to think about that thing that you're waiting for. So serving is my answer. Thank you very much.
You know, these things that we are hearing today, it's so much for us because we find ourselves in a generation where people no longer want to serve. For many reasons, people think that service will make people take advantage of them and all of that. It's not as if those things won't happen, but service is still the way. It's still the way. So if you do not go back with anything, go back with that. Service in every form, in any way. Please let's celebrate. I want to ask our mommy, Mrs. Ibam, going through your journey in life and all the things you might have been through, how has it shaped your relationship with people? How has it shaped your relationship with people?
Thank you very much. That's a loaded but a very interesting question. Talking about marriage, I've been in that institution. November will make it 19 years. I don't look it right. It's been good. And I get surprised when people say, waiting outside, lots of problems. By the time you come in, another load of problems. Marriage in itself has its own unique, should I say tasks or challenges? But in all of it, there is beauty. I don't want to make anybody feel afraid of it. It's one thing to be desire to be married, and everybody wants the best. It's another thing to stay in the marriage. So many expectations. Both ways have their own unique challenges, but it's God that helps. So desire to be married, good, do the right things, God on your side. And when you get in there, beauty, I don't want to use challenges of its own, and it's all God's grace. The question was how maybe my upbringing, has shaped my relationship with people. It has done a lot, and it's not far-fetched from service in quotes. I actually didn't come up, from a very rich background. Though I came from a very religious, I came from a Catholic background. Strict Catholic background, in the sense that you have to go for mass, you have to wake up early, you have your devotion, you must attend morning masses. Morally, religiously, I was. But God helped me along the line. I got converted in the Bible club. You see, this God knows us more than we know ourselves. So that same tenant I had, introduced me into the Bible club by late Justice Evolsu. I can't forget her in the morning. She lost her husband and she decided to move on, having a children's club. And she ended well. Late Justice too. And surprising, coming from a staunch Catholic home, they allowed me to go for that Bible because anything that is outside Catholic is a no-no. What happened was that the lady in question, I grew up with my aunts, they were classmates, and so that made it possible. But God used that to capture me early. So it also stretched me. What happened in my auntie's house? I told you I didn't come from a very rich background, but I grew up in a disciplined and strict environment, which also helped me. When you're a child, it's easy. But when you're not a child, direct biological child, you can take what the biological child would not naturally take. By that I mean after a certain age, I was exposed to more taxable chores. So I had to do virtually everything. As I sit here, I can do most of the domestic things you can think of. From processing oil, palm oil, from frying garri, weeding, you need to see me arranging for things, any odd domestic chores. To even caring for the elderly. You care any sick person will be brought in and I will be in charge. But what helped me and sustained me was my relationship, that early relationship with God. I gave my life early. So I would do it as unto the Lord. That scripture kept me. Everything I did, the lady always said, you will do it as unto God. And there was one other one, he said, you should not be weary in doing good, all that, so that I worked at, and little did I know that the more you work, it's a more work, the more you work, the more work that will come to you. So when you work hard, more work will also come. But in that wilderness work, it taught me a lot of things. It taught me resilience, it taught me patience, it taught me how to relate with people. You can't talk back at my aunt. She was a strict disciplinarian. And when she corrects you, are expected to say a thank you. Even when you're right or wrong. I learned so many things unconsciously. There are many things. Some things are taught, some things are learned. Some things you don't read through the pages of books to know them. Some things are just rub off because some things are experiences. In fact, you can see yourself and appreciate somebody more than in your shoe because you've gone through it, no matter who you are. It has really helped me. It taught me that I would not sleep before 12 midnight. In fact, by 1 a.m. I will be eating. That's when I have my meal. It looks like when it has fed up, and I really appreciate those days. As I grew, I now, the revelation kept coming. Oh, this is what God wanted me to learn. Taking of an elderly person, somebody had cancer of the cervix, you will take care. And I was singing, and I will be singing to the person, I will be preaching to the person. I had so many songs of the season, even though I did so many crying at all times. I had songs of the season. Oh, the God of the mountain. I had songs of the season. God gave me. But it really took me a long way. It taught me patience. It taught me how to apologize to whoever is involved. I can say I am sorry to whoever is involved. It taught me humility, so many things. And as I graduated from there, even when there was a guy that had to use firewood, I was taught humility. I was taught how to cope with tough times. I don't have a help. Married, I just have one, very shortly. For 19 years, having 4 children, no help. There's a lot involved, but it made me strong. I can do anything at any time. I can sleep, I can do. It gave me so much. Now, how has it helped me? I found out that I found myself in the university. The truth is that you have to make it. Where I work with students, I work with younger ones. We are all privileged. I wish I had the time. Even if there were such opportunities, I would not have been permitted to attend. But look at you, having to, listen to this and learn. It gives you an opportunity to step up very fast, to have a vision of your life. So working with a group of students, with a group of, I take that as my altar. You know, God has kept me. He's still there. So on my altar, I do whatever I know is good. You know, it helps me. In fact, I got a text message last week from a student. I told them I'm a mean person. I'm a very good. I don't attach any. I've been taught humility. So this student, I was a faculty officer. I left to another place. But I found out there were so many mistakes on documentation. You know, they didn't actually do them well. I had to load my phone, called all of them, more than 20. I took pains to, you know, attend to them because I know everybody doesn't have my own philosophy or principle. Some people are naturally very, come on, this is the university, we all know. But I decided to make myself different. If you hear the name Regina, you know, this is so it's not, I'm not, you know, I don't, it's not odd. I expect it, but not that I work for it. It's because of God. So the lady sent me and said, "Man, I wish I could read my phone. I just want to say, because I used my phone to call that student, so she had my number. I want to say thank you for being so nice to me. Even when I was at fault, the way you spoke to me, you said thank you for being an example of kindness and is it love? She made it so well, I was like, hallelujah. It's just to tell the story. It's that wilderness trade. It didn't take 1 year, it didn't take 5. I lived with my auntie until I wore my wedding gown. You know what that means? When I came back from service, I was trying to be a bit of an adult. She said something I didn't really hear. She's still alive, she's 82 years. A woman of resilience, a woman of, I've learned so much. It's not that I appreciate those attributes. I love her, the husband, 87, and I've learned so much. When I came out from service, she said something I didn't really hear. She came up. I said, my dear, I think if I see that, I can talk there. He said, two cops cannot be on the same roof. You know, crowing. That's me and her. We are not people. Of course, I went there when I was 3 years old. That means I'm now measured. I had to apologize. I did not hear. I did not. And I apologized. So I am now after service, I'm not a big girl, but I was still shown the place of humility. And it takes God. I had something to do. I would have left there, but I told myself, I will not leave any strained relationship. I have suffered it all and will suffer to the last. Even when I was about to get married, so many issues I would pack and do. I said, no way. I wore my wedding gown and married from my home. It takes a lot of patience and humility. And she prayed for me. It wasn't easy, but it has helped me. I don't know the kind of person I will not be able to work. It's not that I knew I could be, you know, I could be temperate, I could be impatient, but these things have been dealt with. I can tell you I'm sorry, I can accommodate you, I can be patient with you. There are times the house want to come, but because these things have been dealt with, so it has really helped me. Then stepping out, because when you're there, you develop this kind of complex. So I exposed myself to reading, to meeting people. I met friends easily because it helped me to say, then I started dreaming, I started growing. With God, I knew I could get higher. So it has really, I have a very good relationship apart from God. I hardly would invite somebody, you understand, for sometimes the person will deliver, except their issue. It gives me a very cordial relationship with people, to be able to relate with my peers, to be able to relate with my those below me. And you know, last week I was coming back, I saw a retiree from the university. I was in the front seat of the bus coming. The lady just said, what are you doing here? You know what is happening? But look at the practice. I said, Mama, we don't play your man. I dropped. I said, oh, please, enter the place. Yes. I said, how will I? You, ma, please. She was the head of a unit. I said, go bring the bus. I said, no, please. I hugged her and ushered her. It's not easy. If you have not been there, you will not be able. And she felt good. I know that what I'm doing to her. Someday somebody will do. I gave her all the respect I do because I also want to return well. And look like I praise for you.
One thing he said yesterday was one of the characteristics of pure gold is that it is least reactive. So when we laid emphasis on that, we said that when you have been purified, some things don't move you anymore.
some things don't shake you because you've been through some tough situations. So that's what mommy is trying to tell us, that after going through all of those things that she went through, there is nobody she cannot be humble to. There is nothing she cannot go through. And the Lord has helped her. Please, let's celebrate for me once again. We've heard a lot about purity today, but I want us to listen to this question. I want to ask our mommy, Mrs. Ogushola, to respond to this question. The person says, I am the first daughter and is also the firstborn in my family. I'm also the first girl to enter university in my paternal family. Moreover, this has brought upon many responsibilities on my head. I got into school and derailed, not in my grades, but in my way of life. And I lost my purity too. I am currently living a depressing life as I don't know my purpose in life. I don't have anything doing, no meaningful relationship, no direction, and no good relationship with God. I'm almost done with school and I'm very scared because I don't know where to go from here. And my family is looking up to me. And I compare myself a lot with other girls my age who are doing well. Please, what should I do?
Okay, so thank you for being truthful. It means that something is already happening. You are fully aware of the situation. Okay, so yeah, first girl, first boy, first person, to go to university. That sounds like me, but one, I'm not the firstborn. You are already aware of the situation. I think one of the things you can do, number one, you've done it. Being able to speak up, being able to analyze your life, and you know your present state. See, not everybody can do that. A lot of people will live in denial for so many years. But you have come down to that realization. It means that God has helped you. Understand first that God has helped you. And second, that God is ready to help you. God is very close. And that's why you are able to realize the situation. The next thing you have to do is to sincerely allow that God to truly be your help. So you need to seek God. Seek God. See, in the place of seeking, you are going to find out how exactly He wants you to start. And you are starting from where you are. And you already have said a lot already. People looking up to you, you compare yourself, meaning that all the things you have said you do, you cannot do them. First, you do the opposite. Whatever the things you have said and the ones you have not said, which you already know you have derailed, what does it mean you do after now? If you have derailed, you go back to God and say, I want to start again. God is not human. It's not like us. As a matter of fact, He's been waiting for this moment for a long time with you. He's been waiting for this time where you will say, enough. I want to pick my life back. And you can actually pick your life back. You have derailed, God can begin a new issue. That's one thing you have to know. Don't let the devil deceive you. That future that you see, you can be more. These things you have passed through is likely to be part of the process as well. She said something that time that my journey is different from that of my friends or my sister. How God will deal with you and the experiences you will go through. Who knows whether if you did not derail, you won't understand what it means to stay pure. Who knows if you didn't go through that experience and you have missed God. You won't appreciate his presence when you finally find it. So your journeys are different. What you will do after now is very important. And do not allow the devil to take that away from you. Get closer to God. Start again. It doesn't matter where you are starting from. When I started my school, when I started, she finished at 21. I was still doing jump up and down at 21. Our journeys are different. For you to now say that, oh, my friends have done this, my friends are doing this. Look, the kind of thing, quite a number of my friends got married before me, they got to school before me. But let me tell you, the kind of things I do right now with my life in a short time. When my change began, and now it was so short. It began like 14 years ago, and I'm feeling like I have lived 60 years. Because of the kind of things I have done in this short time. And guess what? Recently, God said to me, I am just beginning. I am just starting. So get ready for what is to come. Meaning there are still more. So stop comparing your journeys with other people. Do you understand that? I don't expect you to not, so that I won't know it too. But if you still need more clarification and the step by step of what you can do, you can find somebody that you know can truly help you. And be bold enough to talk. Are you getting it? Be bold enough to say, this is my experience, I need help. And you will get it. Do you understand?
I think I'd just like to add something to what Mama has said, especially when the question of purity is concerned. I'd like for persons as young as myself who are in the room to know that there is a lot more people that are walking pure than are not. Because some of us are being deceived into thinking that, oh, no, everybody is doing it. It's not true. Everybody's not doing it. The issue we've had for a long time, up until the advent of the internet, though we now have people speaking about it, that people who are walking pure have always been shy about speaking up. You're not bold enough to say that at 30 you're still keeping yourself pure. You're not, and then it doesn't even matter at what point that you fail. We always rededicate our lives to God and come with Him. People have followed and have been celibate for 10, 15 years. So you can always start again from wherever you are. A friend of mine said something and it is powerful. There is power in beauty. There are certain dimensions of warfare that God would entrust into your hand just because you allow Him to help you to walk the path of purity. And that still falls back to the fact that our paths are different. Your warfares are different from another person's warfare. And sometimes the demand for a certain type of oil to rest on your head might be purity. Whether you have lived like that all your life or you have fallen and come back. Because for some people that have been given the privilege of falling, it is so that you understand, just like Mama said, you will understand what it means for God to order your step. One thing that I wanted to re-echo is that sometimes self-righteousness is our problem. So there's those of us that have been pure who feel self-righteous. And that is something God needs to heal in you, so that you don't fall to have a taste of what it feels like to be on the other side. And it is self-righteousness that makes you fall and keep beating yourself instead of stretching out and receiving the help of God. I will tell you from where I have walked. I have made certain mistakes and it has been difficult to forgive myself after God has forgiven me. How dare you? After all God has done for you, do you know how God? You? God has finished that matter with you, but you're the one who holding the cane over yourself. So one of the things that Mama has said is forgive yourself. And one way for the enemy of immorality to flee is accountability. Sin actually really thrives in secrecy. During my courtship was very short, it was about 6 months. And sometimes it's like, everything want a boy. And then one day, me and my friends just say, we are not going to do this. Like, we will not live like this. Because me, my philosophy, I always tell my fiancé, I don't want to tell God sorry about it. And me, my own is that, you see this matter of sexual impurity, me, I don't want to tell God sorry. That's my own philosophy. To tell God sorry about that, people just act for me. So instead of me telling God sorry, I try to put all of the parameters around me not to tell him sorry. And when it looked like the temptations, because of the peculiarity of our own courtship was going to be so high, I went to somebody one day, I said, my sister, this is ridiculous. But I noticed that once we exposed it to another believer's ears, oh God, it was no longer a struggle. I don't know how it happened, but I realized that once we told someone we were struggling with this, we're struggling with keeping your hands off each other, keep your hands to yourself. Once we told someone it was a struggle, it was the end of it. The energy of that taste for sin just disappeared. So I'm saying that you also can actually do it.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, let me say something.
I just wanted to ask you, but she said it. The most important thing is self-awareness, self-consciousness, that you are aware that you have derailed. It's enough. The second of it means you have gotten out of it. The second is that you forgive yourself. Like she said it. Learn to forgive people easily so that you can forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself. Thirdly, I want to say you refrain from destructive conversation. Whatever will make you think back. And when I say forgive yourself, genuinely do. Go to God, like she said. You refrain from destructive conversation, whether within yourself or outside of yourself. Because we as human beings, we are the only set of people that will have the mind, we have the spirit. Anything that will make you go back, please. Then involve yourself in a constructive conversation. Like redefining yourself, speaking positively into your future. Locating a word and running with it. And knowing that you will get there. Assuming you were not the first child, it was a younger sister that said this to you, how would you have handled it? It's the future that we are looking at. The Lord help us in Jesus' name.
Okay, because of how many the questions are, I want you to pay keen attention because in the midst of answering these questions, they might have answered your question. Alright? So I'll just ask questions that are similar. So most of these ones here, they are speaking about how do they cope when somebody continuously talks down on their dreams? How do they cope when people continuously talk down their dreams? Someone said, is there anything like impossible dream? When somebody keeps telling you, no, that's impossible. That's impossible. So let me allow our mom to speak about it because I think she talked about it briefly.
Okay, so I think one of the first things you need to do, I don't know if the person was here when we started earlier. It's either you were here or you were not here. And if you were here, maybe you were not paying attention to some details. One of the first things you can do, somebody talks down on your dream, the very most active thing is to stop talking about your dreams with the person. And there is nothing wrong when you disassociate yourself. If you continue to be in a relationship with that fellow, you will continue to hear the same thing. When you hear something different, it's maybe when something has happened with the person's mindset. So you go look for people. See, there's nothing like impossible dreams. Nothing like that. Maybe you have not found the right people to discuss your dreams with. So you need to look. You don't have dreams and stay in one place. Look for the people who can interpret your dreams. Somebody will hear that dream and say, "What? Wow. Okay. Yeah, I know somebody who can help you sort that out." So you need to start talking to people who can approve of your dreams. That's what I would say. Look for somebody who can approve of your dreams. Stop fooling yourselves around people who look down on your dreams. You won't go far with them. They probably are not seeing what you are seeing. Those are not I'm not saying fight them, no. Just change the location of your relationship. Do you understand? Actively look for people who are thinking at your level, at the level you are thinking, even higher than you are thinking, and share your dreams with them.
Sometimes these persons don't have to be physically talked about to me. Yeah. The internet has brought us to spheres of mentorship that is something else. So what is that particular dream that you think is impossible? Ask Google a question. Who is doing this kind of thing in the world? Books and videos will pop up. And that's the first way you start re-engineering your mind around the possibility of that. Number two, find out an avenue on how you can volunteer in the line of your dream. This is the easiest way to learn the ropes to rise. So that, because if you are in an environment where someone is already believing your dream, it is possible for you to believe that it will be possible for you.
Alright, let me quickly add to that. I think this is going to help someone. Fantastic. See, the problem sometimes, you have heard this thing now. I am an action person. Sometimes I don't, this write-up I even do, writing things down. When I'm writing things, I'm writing what I want to do with what I have read. I'm not writing what you are saying, I'm writing what you will do as you leave this place or what you will start doing. She said something very key. Locating somebody who does what you want to do and find yourself into their life. Nothing is impossible. See, there is a particular, when I wanted to get into international space, well, I did not say, okay, let me just start traveling now, blah, blah, blah. No. I found somebody in education in Nigeria who is doing the kind of things I want to be doing. And I registered to be under her mentorship. Not because I don't know anything. But sometimes you even think you know, but you don't know. If I really know, why am I not doing what she's already doing? Because I want to know. And guess what? I registered under her, learning under her. From the first day that I registered, I told myself, this woman, me and you will do things together. She didn't know. I know that. But I needed to get into her space by paying for it. Some of you have to work and pay for something, not just free. Sometimes if you have not paid for some things, you will not attract it. It will come to you. That is it. And this woman, I got so close, after a while, she noticed me. By the next cohort of that program, I became a mentor. She sent me a message. Elizabeth, I need you to be a mentor on my academy. After that, I told myself, I know I will get there, I know I will become a mentor. I knew it. See, it is not like, when it starts from your mind, the position of your mind. Whatever you want to become, you can be, but you have to be willing to start from somewhere. And be strategic about how you are running. I mean, she just gave two fantastic, things you can do. And if somebody is listening, you will pay attention to these details. Right now, we are doing things together. Right now, she's telling me, okay, I'll be in London this time. You prepare to come with me. She's telling me the places she's going. And I'll be there. I will be in those places. This is how these things work. It's as simple as that. You want to be close to Ibuba Oshika. Where does she go? Where are the places she speaks? I will go there. I will go and serve. I will tell them I want to sleep. I will tell them I want to arrange the table. I will tell them I want to work with the ushers that serve the guests. I have done all these things. Before you know it, they take note of you. When you are not close to them, you can attract them. That's it. Either by reading their books or consistently following them.
Just to add to that, somebody continuously talks you down. For God's sake, as we are, we have different faces, we have different purposes in life, we are created differently. So if you're conscious of the fact that somebody consistently talks you down, you have to, first of all, have a positive image about yourself. You cannot take it in. Like she said, it's of the mind. You will resist it, but not rudely. What does the Bible say about you? That is what matters. If God has given you a vision, it's unique to you. If the person talks you down, it means the person doesn't believe in your own vision. I want to say you should, maybe cutting is very strong, the relationship. Refuse it. Like when she was sharing with us, I noticed the action she took against the brothers when they kept, saying something that she did not like. That means she has defined her purpose, she has structured what she likes to hear and what she would not like to hear. Because she has a purpose, she's going somewhere. Her own biological brothers. It was, you have to take action. So if the person talks you down, you can also promote your own image or withdraw from the person gradually. You speak about things that will not cause conflict. You push out your own positive image about you and let it fill your mind. Anything that will not encourage you, so far as in the positive, please you hold on to it. Because by the time you get there, that same dream that somebody was talking you down, or your personality, it has a way of bringing you down, it has a way of lowering, it has a way of killing your dream. Do you know when you get there, I tell you, results will cancel insults. The same person that talked you down will come around. So please don't just tell yourself you are made, you are perfect, you are made in God's own image. You have a dream, you have a future. Don't buy somebody's idea that doesn't go down. What God has given to you, please run with it. So far it is God, so far you are convinced. Of course, if you want to be a medical doctor, it's a dream. But you have to write JAMB and get to school. It's just a process. You first of all see yourself as a doctor. You go through the process, and finally you get there. Am I right? So if you have a dream, please project it. Build your conscious self-image positively. And don't allow anybody to deter you. You and that person, you are different. God gives you different dreams. What you need to do, work hard to achieve yours. Make sure you make somebody else believe that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. What God meant for you will surely come to you. Don't let anybody talk you that you are different. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will just read out all of these questions. I think it summarizes the rest. So I will just read all of it, and then I will allow us talk about it so that we can wrap up this session. This person says, I have a friend, more like a friend's friend, but she's so nonchalant in godly things. I and my other friend have talked to her, I've prayed for her, and I feel responsible for her in some way, as I know God has made us stay together for a reason. I am not perfect and I have a lot of flaws. What else can I do to make her see sense in living for God, going to church, and being involved in godly matters? Okay, this person says, what do I do when I am serving and it seems I haven't even started? This person says, good afternoon, Dr. Elizabeth. She shared her experience on how God helped her through school in her studies, being average to excellent. Concerning these, I am currently in my 500 level, but I have no interest in my course. and any other course in UBU. I have tried my very best and asked God to help me to understand my course and like it, but it never worked. 2 months ago, a friend of mine introduced me to Web3. A part of what I found in it something I really love doing. I love the whole idea of the blockchain. When I do them, I find peace, joy, love, and doing it. My question now is school everything? And must one go to school? Must one go through school to succeed and do God's will? Can't I do it through what I love doing, so far it is legal and the right thing? I think this is a lot. Okay. Please, Ma, what are the steps and action and attitude you would know and notice that your relationship will end in marriage? This one says, how can I possess my possession on earth when I come from a family that never believed that God exists? For Mrs. Ogunshola, good afternoon, Ma. I was instructed by God to stay under a lady. She's currently not in Uyo, so our connection is really low. I honestly do not know how to connect with her. Sometimes I send in any events I'll be hosting and the objective of the event. Please, what can I do to build our connection so that I can build a better connection with her? This person says, okay, I think we should move on. Let's take this. Yes. Okay, let me just say this one. It is said that females are meant to be calm. But in situations where you need to react to a situation, whereby you need to stand your ground by using your emotions, what will you do? Mrs. Elizabeth mentioned having blocking our brothers, that is family members, to be able to train your mind. How were you able to handle the reactions and the lashes from a typical Nigerian home? Minister Barak, you said, when we tell another believer, it's no longer a struggle. But what do I do if I tell another believer and it's no longer a secret? Instead of helping the other believer, he or she now talks down about the person, something like that. So I think that's all the questions we can take. Please don't send any questions for now. We can send them to me, I'll ask them for you. All right, so let me allow them answer the questions.
I hope we can keep the questions they'll ask you because some of them have been getting. But let me answer the last one. It's important for all of us to know that even back to the last question we were answering, not everybody is qualified to access your needs. No matter who they are. No matter what you think about me, I might not be the right person to access your needs or mentor you because I might not have what it takes to handle who you are. This is one thing that people don't understand about mentorship. And when we are taught to pray about every and anything, it includes who you should submit to as a mentor or who you should tell your secrets to. When I say be accountable to someone, it doesn't mean that you should just stand up and tell anybody anything. There's something the Bible talks about matured Christians. And matured Christians have fruits. You know that this person over time is tested and proven to be credible with information, a person worthy of character. It's not because we both come to fellowship and speak in tongues, so I will confide in you. One of the things that I learned from Apostle Joshua Selman says, as a minister and as an influential person, not everybody must have access to your vulnerabilities. And that's for every one of us. You don't have to be influential yet. You are going somewhere. Do not give someone an arsenal against your future. So even if you must be accountable to somebody, that person must have proven themselves first mature and accountable to another. I could only talk to the person that I talked to because they had my kind of scar. We have related over the years. I know what they represent. Tomorrow I will not hear my story in another person's mouth, and it's important. Number two, sometimes you will still trust them and they will still speak it. So, you also have to train yourself to mature above the experiences of life. You will not also say, I spoke to Deacon Adam, and Deacon Adam told Deacon Eve, so I will not tell Brother Abel. You have to go above situations every now and then. Please, discern relationships, discern men. Some of you think that your pastors and your pastor's wife are figurative figures. Why go to someone else when you have pastors over you? Those people are bound by their ordination to be quiet with the things you committed to their hands. So you think that mama will start looking down on you, so you will not tell mama what your issues are. First place, if you're submitted under this house, your first go-to should be your pastors. And usually, they know who to point you to. If they will not be able to address the issues directly, they will call a trusted brother or a trusted sister and say, I need you to oversee this person. That's how it works this time.
Okay, let me allow Mrs. Ubam to talk about the fact that they said females are supposed to be calm, and what do you do in a situation where you need to stand your ground?
Thank you very much. Females are generally expected to be calm. I said, how do you express your emotions? What do you have to do when you need to maintain your ground? Well, it's not in isolation. You have to discern who the next party is involved. Is it your parent? Is it like your classmates? Is it your junior that is involved? The type of person, is it your senior? Is it your pastor? Is it your father? Those occasions, they can occur. Anybody can be involved. But I want to say, there are times you must allow the emotions go. By that, if it's your classmate, if somebody you rapport with, you can stand your ground and say, please, I'm not coming for that part. This. You can have a full weight to express your opinions and to stand your ground. But when it has to do with your father, your mother, somebody older than you, how can you maintain your ground even when the person is wrong in quotes? I tell you, there's no need, and especially when you're a Christian, there's no need. You may not buy into an idea. You don't need to argue at all. You just allow it to go, but that doesn't mean you are taking the decision. Am I understood? You cannot argue. What are you stamping? You're somebody that failed you, somebody that gave birth to you. You say, Daddy, in this house, you must say, I'm sorry. It doesn't. It doesn't. Yes, it doesn't. You look at the parties involved. Even outside, even if the person is your senior, there are people that, no matter what you prove to them, they will not understand. You try to say, and you're still, even amongst your own peers. When you know that sometimes you level yourself and level the person, you are more than it. It's no point arguing with somebody you know better than. Maybe a fool in quotes, and sorry to use that word. You maintain your ground. You don't go for the person argues, and you know that it may result in a fight. You change it. You disengage. No point. So that at least, say he that needs to fight, or if the fight and runs, leaves to fight another. No point. You just keep quiet and get into another topic. That makes you mature. If it's a younger person, the person needs to get to the level of maturity where you are before the person can reason with you. So it's not everything you verbally say out to stand your ground. The word silence is also loaded. Make sure you go for what you know is right. You don't need to insult anybody in the process of getting to your destination. So consider the party involved. You do the needful. If you need to keep quiet, good. If you need to argue, it depends on the party involved. If you need to just, tell the person what. There are some people that are reasonable, before you want to establish your ground, it means you have said something and the person disagrees. If you have enough reason, you give it all out, the person still does not agree. Fine, please don't push it further. We have a lot to do with identity. So please discern the party involved. When you need to keep quiet, please do. The person later may know. When you need to say it mildly, please do. But so that you don't engage in an argument that becomes toxic, you disengage, you keep quiet. But that doesn't really sound. At the end, the truth will be seen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Let me ask Mommy, this person that said she found another love in Web3 instead of school, if school is everything.
Okay, so school is good, right? Don't, just because you don't like, I know there are I work with a lot of young adults who don't actually like what they're doing. And they find expressions in other things. Now, don't you ever think that you won't need that certificate? Now, you are in 500 level, it's not time for you to drop out. You finish well, go to service. If you want to go into the path that you desire, you can start. All of certifications, different things. Even if you love, it is important in this life for you to enjoy this life. You must love what you are doing. That's the truth. You must love what you are doing. Whatever you are doing to make ends meet, you must love it. That is where you get satisfaction. That is where money will not be your drive. And I hope you already know that you make money faster when you give value. When you are at your space, what brings the kind of money you desire is not the era of loving money, talking about money all the time. It's by giving service, genuine service and value. Because money is the resultant of the value that you give. You don't run after money. You chase value. You chase service. Money will come. I know what's in your mind. I've been giving service. Where is the money? Right? Maybe you're not giving the right service. Maybe you're not giving the right kind of value. Maybe what you call values are not values. Okay? So finish your school. Do what gives you joy especially when it is the right thing to do. Yeah. That's your experience of schooling will rub off on what you are doing that you love to do. It doesn't mean that you do what you came out from school to do, but you passing through school gives you an edge more than the other people did not pass through school. And that's why you should not be cheating to pass. When you do that, you are cheating your future, your way. You go through school to learn, to be able to solve problems. And you will still learn it. If you don't learn it, when you come out of school, this problem solving, you will learn. If you don't learn it, you will remain on the same place. Because the world is not for the people who cram things or who cheat their way. People are not interested in your certificate, they are interested in what you can do and get results. People are getting impatient every time. So it is about, can you get this thing done? I don't know whether you went to school to do public speaking. Right? Okay, you do that. But there are the other people who can do that perfectly well and they did not study. It's gifts. See, like somebody talked about intelligence. When I met my husband, I know that my intelligence is full ready. My own intelligence come from, I know it's given to God because God gave me the blueprint of how I can train myself to think in a particular direction. And I did that. You see, I have to, sometimes you read to understand and be able to make right decision. My husband is an embodiment. My husband is like a gift. The intelligence is like a gift. When I'm reading something 10 times, he does not need to read it 2 times. His brain, I used to tell him, is faster than Google. So if I want to search Google, I know it takes more time. I just need to ask him. It gives me faster answer and better one than me. So you have this thing in different, dimension. You are doing that thing very well. You love it. Keep your certificate. It's good. It's going to be useful someday. All right. Let's not waste.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I think we'll just take one more question because of our time. Let's answer this one of how can I possess my position on earth when I come from a family that never believed that God exists?
Thank God you believe that God is. See, this life, it is your own life. Adima, you have to see, when I discovered that I need to break that chain and allow God start a new lineage in my life. It was a realization I got that, look, this life, you have to live your own life. My parents are Indians, right? You can decide to choose the direction of your life. See, through what God will do with your life, they will believe. You see, let me give you an example. I know we don't have time, but I will be fast with it. My mother she's a Christian, she believes, and I appreciated the fact that she trained us in some aspect and dimension of God. Dimension of you fast, you deny yourself, but there is yet another dimension of why do you fast? What do you fast for? How do you get result for your fasting and all of that? Are you getting it? Now, I used when I was, in my maybe 22, 25, within that window, I began to question an aspect of my parents or my mom. I didn't understand. This aspect of when you have prayed, you still have to go to prophets and pastors. Maybe your parents do that. And you want to make a decision, you have to go and ask them. Abi, what to do? See, when I began this journey of growth in God, and I know that, look, God can answer me. And I can understand what God is saying per situation. And I can get direction from God. And I began to feel from my mother, why do you have to always go to a prophet who asks you to do what is wrong? That I know biblically it is wrong. I didn't have to tell my mother to, even though I tried telling her to stop going. But my life needed to show results that proved to my mother that God can tell her things on her own. So, you have known the truth, follow the truth. He said the truth shall do what? Shall set them free. And the truth, and I believe, has set you free. Continue on that path. God will give you results that will make them believe that truly He is.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I believe that most of our questions have been answered, even though maybe not specifically, but I'm very sure that most of our questions have been answered as they spoke. So I want us to give a standing ovation. Let's celebrate our mothers for this time, for the wisdom that they have shared with us. Thank you very much. Please celebrate them even as they return to their faith.
Victory Chapel, the church on campus.